everyone, Slave to the Games here with the third part to the Cyberpunk 2077 full in-depth explanation series. As of the timing of this video, I have looked through over, 70 articles as I've claimed with my Bloodlines series as well. They kind of overlapped with just how much content I've gone over for each. It was tough, really tough. Some articles and forums were so complex, yet already had information I had or had so much I did not yet. But I had to read through everything to make sure I got everything I could. Night City is a fictional place. Everything I'm about to say is canon. Between then and now, the USA has suffered a vast socioeconomic collapse that has sent ripples around the world, throwing the entire planet, but especially the West, into chaos. The enfeebled US government has only maintained order with the aid of a number of megacorporations. It all starts to go wrong in 1990 when the US intervenes disastrously in a Central American war. This, together with the release of a US-developed plagues targeting drug plants, stokes anti-American sentiment among powerful Central American cartels. With the backing of the European Union, who are much more competitive in this alternate universe, these cartels prosecute a savage drug war all over the Americas. In 1993, they are even able to detonate a small nuclear device in New York, killing tens of thousands. Matters worsened in 1994 with a massive global stock market crash that hits the US hardest, causing widespread unemployment and homelessness. A nuclear accident in Pittsburgh drives internal migration, as does a drought across the Midwest, which leads to a food crisis. The family farm is essentially wiped out, so corporations come to control all US agriculture. Food exports to the rest of the world cease, which obviously causes its own problems. In 1996, the president and vice president are assassinated, and the US government fragments. The NSA, CIA, FBI, and DEA form the Gang of Four and collude to further their own interests. Criminal gangs are established or emboldened all over the country. One of them, the Bloods, take almost total control of Miami. Executive authority is passed down the ranks to the defense secretary, who suspends the Constitution and declares martial law. By now, 1 in 4 Americans are homeless, leading to huge Mad Max-style gangs of violent nomads. Over the next few years, toxic spills off the coast of Seattle ravage its economy. A 10.5 earthquake shatters Los Angeles. Tensions in the Middle East escalate to nuclear exchange, reducing much of the region to a radioactive slag, halving the world's oil supply. Several states secede from the United States, including California. Corporate power has been waxing across the globe as businesses exploit the opportunities created by this chaos. Corporations have been training their own armies as early as 1997, and ultimately, the enfeebled US government has no choice but to turn to them for help containing the nomads, gangs, and cartels running rampant across the country. The corporations take most of what they liberate for themselves, and only grow stronger. Governments across the world, and especially in the US, are then powerless to prevent a series of corporate wars. Cyberpunk 2020 ended with a fourth corporate war, where in late 2021, two rival architect companies, OTEC and Sino, came to fiscal and then physical blows. As the situation escalated, each side brought in heavy muscle to back them up. Militech for OTEC and Arasaka for Sino. By early 2022, a violent and pervasive shadow war was in full swing between the two armament companies. Arasaka began using a program called Soulkiller, made by Johnny Silverhand's girlfriend, Alt Cunningham, to attack the Militech through the net. Edge runners around the world were hired on for a breakneck series of vicious but covert black operations and strikes. Eventually, the fighting erupted into all-out war. During the Hot War, several cities, notably Hong Kong and Rio de Janeiro, were reduced to rubble, and the net itself became corrupted to the extent that it's mostly too dangerous to use. Eventually, Militech and what remained of the United States government teamed up to take down Arasaka. The final battle took place in downtown Night City itself. At the end of the story, most of the major NPCs, led by Johnny Silverhand, gained entrance to Arasaka Tower, assaulted the labs on the 120th floor, destroyed Soulkiller, and rescued all, who had been previously consumed by a creation Soulkiller, by uploading her into the net as a digital construct. However, the team was ambushed by Atom Smasher, who killed Silverhand and hunted down the rest of the team until confronted by Morgan Blackhand. Simultaneously, another team made its way to the Arasaka database, trying to make a copy of it and then destroying it with a small tactical nuke. As Smasher and Blackhand fought in Arasaka Tower, the tactical nuke exploded and the tower collapsed, damaging a large part of the city's center. The pen and paper RPG Cyberpunk Red tells us a bit about the years that followed the Fourth Corporate War. Due to the mass destruction and radiation, a red pall hung over the skies worldwide. Most people installed radiation filters in their bodies. With major cities in shambles, people reclaimed the once abandoned towns and settlements throughout the country, soon becoming targets for bandits and other questionable types. Most people who ventured out of the cities stuck with armed nomad caravans. Rumors that Johnny Silverhand's body was found in a cold storage body bank under the wreckage began shortly after the Fourth Corporate War. Morgan Blackhand, on the other hand, was rumored to be covertly working for President Kress and the US government. The net had been irreparably damaged, so netrunners had to learn how to physically jack into local networks if they wanted access. Along with localized networks, Night City created a citywide network called data pools, which can be accessed through data terms, or agents, which are similar to modern-day cell phones. In the data pool, people can message friends, share information, buy stuff, and conduct research. It also became home to Pop Media, an entertainment and news programming service created by independent producers instead of megacorps. By 2030, Night City's outskirts and district lists affected by the Arasaka Tower bomb had become overcrowded. Thus, sweeping reconstruction projects began in the city center. By 2045, the first mega building was erected. While it was still functional, Night City's end-card system had frequent issues with flooding and it commonly experienced delays. City planners began working to raise a majority of the track into a new monorail configuration. With the public transportation system constantly on the fritz, cars and cyberbikes became the most reliable way of getting around. Between 2020 and 2077, certain fashion styles and architectural styles evolved with the times. The first came entropism, connected with the post-war times when people were poor, so the aesthetic is very practical. It just had to work. You could see it in the architect, the fashion, and the vehicles. Then later came kitsch, when the city's economy was getting a lot better. People started wearing more colorful clothing. Even the cars and buildings had brighter colors. The angles became more rounded and there are softer shapes. So now if you drive around Night City, for instance, and you see a building that's bright yellow and the windows are really rounded, then you know it's kitsch style. After kitsch came neo-militarism, which is very corporate, and neo-kitsch, which is for the super rich who, in order to show their supremacy, have created their own style. Neo-kitsch frequently uses natural animals because in Cyberpunk 2077, a lot of animals are extinct. So if you can afford to have an animal print on your clothing, you must be really rich. By the time we get to 2077, megacorps manage every aspect of life from the top floors of their skyscraping fortresses, and the gangs rule the rest. The world of Cyberpunk 2077 represents a grim vision of the future. It's trying to say something about who has power and who doesn't, and why that is. In the world of Cyberpunk, it's the corporations in charge with everybody else scrounging to get by on the streets. It didn't just happen overnight. It was the slow corruption of the society, and now there's a system to keep it in place. You have people that believe they should be the people at the top, the people who are at the bottom, the people who are struggling in the middle. The structures in place don't allow true freedom. You're just a slave of another kind. This world is a shining example of consumerism run rampant. No matter where you look, you're pitched a product, an aspiration, a dream. Whether you're riding the metro, brushing your teeth, or pissing in an alleyway, the glitter, vibrant color, and allure of it all sucks you in, or at least aims to try and do that. Corporations are selling an unattainable dream, and the masses are buying into it hook, line, and sinker. If you don't think you're one of the people that's going to wind up on top, there is a seductive energy living on the streets still going rippling with texture and life. There's also a cynical take on transhumanism. Technology did not liberate the people of Night City from their flesh, their foibles, or their failings. Tech advancement went hand in hand with the decay of society. Body augmentations invented to serve society simply multiplied the problems, and sometimes led to mayhem on the streets. New inventions led to addictions, and poverty became an ever-growing problem. Drugs, violence, and exclusion haven't disappeared by 2077, as people stayed as they were for centuries. Greedy, closed-minded, and weak. The world is broken. Down here, where the streets are run by the drug-pushing gangs, tech hustlers, and illegal brain-dance slingers, is where decadence, sex, and pop culture mix with violent crime, extreme poverty, and the unattainable promise of the American dream. It's this place where high-tech and low-life meet, and that's the feel of Cyberpunk that they're trying to go for. Luckily, I don't have to repeat it, and you can feel free to rewatch this as many times as you need or want to. I hope you enjoyed this video, learned something from it, and look forward to a part where I start to go over everything to do with Cyberpunk 2077 again, because this is part 3 and there will be more. And yes, this means I am definitely going to be doing this all the way up until release, just like Bloodlines 2. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and think about joining the community Discord with the link below, and maybe just maybe becoming a Patreon supporter, in which have multiple tiers to show your support. Completely optional though, guys. I do seriously appreciate it. I love all your comments. I enjoy seeing what you guys are talking about in and below. I enjoy that you guys are enjoying my videos, and I really hope you're still looking forward to them. I really can't wait to put out more. I'm trying my hardest to do it while also live streaming and a bunch of other things as well as gathering the information, rewriting everything, getting script. This part here wasn't really completely rewritten from all the different wikias and forums I went through. I kind of took bits and pieces from different wikias and just threw them in, and then made sure that there was nothing duplicating anything. But seriously, guys, I'm gonna go grab a drink. I'm out of breath. Catch you all later, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed the video.